Hi there, guys. Welcome to the Chronicles of Gamers, episode 56. This is a podcast where we love to explain our love-hate relationship with video games. As you can see, Goofy is back. I am, of course, your host, Eco Cutioner. And guess who I have today? I have a guest. His name is Ted. His name is Ted Edwards.
Ted Edwards, a.k.a. the Teditor, a.k.a. Tedwards44, a.k.a. just Ted. That works.
A.k.a. you should be wearing Captain America.
No, get out of here, bro. There's always an S on my chest, brother. Like, there's an S everywhere. I told you, I got my morning drink set up with my S. Got my Superman here, ready, watching over me. Ready to go, bro.
It's okay, Goofy. It's all right. Anyways, though, welcome back. Once again, Gamer Composer and Lord Brioche cannot be on. Gamer Composer is still in the lab, make this more beautiful music, and Lord Brioche is actually conquering another kingdom. But they will be back. I'm going to drag their asses back for episode 57. In the meantime, I got Ted, man. He's going to talk about some, his channel, Alien Genome, which I am actually interested in, and hopefully we might be doing some stuff in the near future.
Of course, bro. That's a guaranteed, man. It's not a hopefully. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm stealing you, bro. I'm taking you over.
Whoa, hold on, man. Whoa, you got to go through like negotiations and tactics.
Yeah, I'll call my people to talk to your people, and then we can set something up. You know how it works.
All right, that's all good, man. In the meantime, I figured for those that do not know Ted, this is a perfectly good opportunity to learn about the Tedinator. So I've created some questions, or, mostly Goofy, but, mainly me, created some questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't you tell us about Alien Genome?
Oh, we're just jumping right into the Alien Genome, huh?
Yes. Tell me what your channel is about.
Well, I guess it all started back in 1980. No, for real though, Alien Genome is kind of the culmination of, a life and love of games and kind of my path through life. Seeing the landscape today as you know how gaming is, that you have so many shoutcasters. You put somebody on blast a couple episodes back, someone who said a improper word. We won't even get into that. There's people like that all over the place. The internet can be a toxic place. Media is all about clickbait and fake news. And so really, I just kind of wanted to make something that was intelligent, smart, and fun. And I'm all about smart gaming. I want content with a little bit more substance. And that's what I look for, and that's what I strive for, because one of my other AKAs is the educational gamer. I love learning. I love all that kind of stuff. So I always look for, I'm a big science geek. My background, I have a couple degrees in science, but we won't get into that. So I just kind of wanted to bring that to the entertainment and gaming, because you can do both. Because I learned so much from gaming, and my background in history is in sports and sports performance, and then I came up and started a company in gaming about 4 or 5 years ago, and now that's merged into just doing the media. And so really it's all about smart, fun, just something with a little bit more behind it, bruh. Like, you don't want just this mindless crap out there, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, we got too much of that already.
Oh, bro, it's tough. And not that I'm saying that people can't do you. But I just don't want to consume that. And so I just want to make sure I want to give something that I would want to watch, and that I would want, kids and, my kids, if I had kids, not right now, to watch. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
that's basically Alien Genome.
Don't know if the kids can watch this though.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be certain parental blockers in place, but
whoops. But it's still good to know for those out there, my listeners.
Yeah. Yes.
So, what made you decide to do this journey on YouTube at least? Like, why not just do an audio version first and then, make a book, maybe make
right. Well, oh man, there's the $1 million question. Like, I spent about 10 years as a strength and conditioning coach and sports performance coach for pro athletes and Olympic athletes. So I did that. That was my life, my job. I mean, I have a degree in genetics and biochemistry and exercise physiology and mechanics. So I did that. I got bored of that, and I was like, you know what? What do I like? People ask me, what is your claim to fame? And I said, well, I make the biggest, strongest, fastest, and richest men in the world bigger, stronger, faster, and richer. Right? So I was like,
the $6 million man right here?
Right. It's all gravy, but I'm saying like I wanted to do something that's had a little bit more behind it. So I was like, what do I love? And so I went to gaming, right? Right. So I started that company. I started my company, Raptor Cow Gaming. I did consulting for indie studios, etc. And I really enjoyed that. I ran a podcast, as you know, that you were a guest on a while back. I think you were on episode 39, I believe. Yes,
you had
episode
me
30.
Do that Rufus fight.
Yeah, that's right. So you were on the podcast, which is I'm actually coming back here in a couple of weeks. I'm excited to do that again. And then I had a couple producer jobs here in LA, and then I was a producer at the Griffith Observatory here in Los Angeles, doing a lot of the media and stuff like that. And I was like, I really just need to do what I want to do and do this thing. So I just kind of started this. I had the idea for about a year ago, and I just, had all these other jobs and came up. I worked for ESL and all these different things happened. So, life happens. But, yeah. So I just, so I started this channel, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this, and we're going to go on YouTube, or we're doing it on other venues, on our website, etc. But I think it's an easy way to get what I want to get out there. So.
Okay. Now, the $6,000,001 question is, Alien Genome. What made you came up with that name?
Well, as you can see, one of my favorite things in the world, Superman.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at this. I'm so sorry.
Superman.
It's okay, Goofy. Don't look.
And one of my other loves, my other favorite thing would have to be, I'm going to bust out for everyone to see, and here is Predator. For all you out there.
While he's holding an alien tail.
I'm holding a Superman and Predator statue. Yeah. So those are two of my favorite things. And what do they both have in common? They're both aliens, right? Yeah. So I was like, there you go. Also, I am a geneticist. I have a degree in genetics, so I enjoy that. And the genome is fascinating to me, and I know a lot about it. And so I'm a big science geek. And I would actually, one of the other fun journeys with this was I canceled my PhD program to pursue this journey. I was slotted to leave for a PhD program next week, actually, in Rome to pursue astrobiology, which is space, alien biology, and genetics. And so there you go. So then I was like, what's the perfect name for this new risk I'm taking? And I said, Alien Genome it is.
Man, I don't even know what to say. Like, wow, that's huge... Wow, that's
you got to do sometimes.
Yeah. You are definitely the perfect example of following your heart. So there you go.
I will have it no other way, man. Like, life's all about being happy. It's too short, bro. If you can, there's plenty of other times to work and do everything you don't want to do. So just when you have a chance, you have the ability, and I have the support of wife, luckily. She's just like, yeah, go ahead and do your thing, Thanks, babe. But yeah, so that helps.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Ted Edwards.
That's me. But that's all the boring stuff, man. Let's talk about the fun, cool stuff.
Oh, I thought you're saying that's boring shit. That's exciting to me or whatever.
Yeah, it's all straight edge stuff. We got to get into the good stuff. I get excited because I have mad ADHD. I get excited about everything, and so I start talking fast, get all pumped up. So.
Okay, well then.
I'm trying to keep it mellow right now, just to give everybody this is my back into help with my credibility before I start saying some outlandish things.
Oh man, I say outlandish things all the time.
I know. I got to keep up with you, bruh.
Okay, well, if you all right, I guess it's time, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about the hype. This is where we like to talk about any video game news, any industry news that we're excited for or pissed us the fuck off, and mostly it's pissed us the fuck off these last few weeks. But it's all about the hype.
Whoop, whoop.
Guess first.
Oh, sweet. So I'm like your hype man today. I'm like Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy.
You're doing a great job so far.
All right, cool. I'll be it. It's all about the hype. So I guess I'll talk about a couple things I'm playing or what I want to play and that kind of deal right now. And then I'll talk about maybe I'll drop a bomb on somebody here. But I guess I wanted just to get a shout out to, I've been waiting for this game for about a year and a half, 2 years. The South Park Fractured But Whole.
Yes,
I've been playing that.
You've been showing me some footage of that. I'm actually interested.
I've been waiting. It was supposed to come out this time last year, right? It got pushed back to March, then June, and then pushed back again. So I was just, oh my goodness, just the typical games. It came out. I'm playing it right now. I really like it. I'm about 15 hours in, 12 hours in, and it's still doing little tutorial stuff. That's kind of interesting. I think I like Stick of Truth better so far, but it's okay. I'm enjoying it, and I will play it through, and I'm not disappointed. But it's definitely not as good as Stick of Truth, I think, in a different way. I think it was more novel, and I think the Stick of Truth used more of the old South Park references, and this is kind of trying to deal with the new stuff, which is not as funny. But it's still funny. I think I sent you the Big Booty clip.
So yeah, there's this big, huge stripper chick you're trying to get away from. And like when she slams down, it's basically everything around her.
It's an instant kill. Like I died twice on that. I was like, "What?" So I was trying to fight all the other strippers. I mean, if y'all listening or you're watching and listen to this conversation, this sentence, I was fighting all the other strippers trying to run through and to get the stripper who had a dick tattoo on her back. That's the premise. So need I say more of how the game progresses? Like that's the basic way of the game. But yeah, it's like her name is Big Booty, and she does like this big flying slam down on the ground. It's an instant kill. You just gotta basically run through the level without getting slammed. And I kept dying. I was like, what? Oh, I was trying to fight the strippers. So just kind of run past the strippers and just kind of punch them as you run by.
Yep. Oh my gosh. You gonna get some of this booty tonight.
Yeah, the music though was on point. I was
yes,
like, I was like, okay, oh what? Yeah, wow. So that got me up. But I guess I'm happy about South Park. It's again so far not as good as the first one, but I dig it. Okay. So can I talk about another game that I'm excited to play, but I'm kind of pissed off about at the same time?
Sure.
All right, so. In my gaming background, I am an old school RTS player. Like, I love RTSs. The RTS is almost dead, nowadays, but I was a professional Age of Empires player back in the day. So Age of Empires 2 and Age of Empires 3, I won tournaments, was on the best clan in the world. It was awesome. Age of Empires Definitive Edition got announced at where was it? At Gamescom in a couple months back, and they're doing a complete revamp of Age of Empires, the first game, because it's the 20-year anniversary, which is on the 19th. I was super hyped. It was coming out on the 19th. Been waiting for it. 2 days before, these fools say it was delayed until spring. Now, I'm okay with the game getting delayed. But how the heck are you going to delay a game 2 days before? Y'all knew you weren't going to make the deadline like a month. How did 2 days and then 6 month delay? Like if you're like, oh, we're going to be delayed, like a couple weeks, 2 days before, that's fine. But if y'all knew that you needed 6 more months and you're going to do it 2 days before it's released, that's where I started getting like, that pissed me off. I just,
You know what? Can I just say my 2 cents real quick?
Please, say your 10 cents, bro.
It's better that the company at least told you that they needed some extra time, even if it was close to the date, than to have a company just, release the product half-ass, and then a few months later, re-release another version of that complete game, but then still charge you money for it, and then do it again and again. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. My thing is, working with game devs, I know how hard it is to develop a game. It's time consuming, so I appreciate the time. But you have a full roadmap of your project. 2 days before the release of this project, you say, "Oh, we're getting delayed till spring 2018." Like, you knew that you weren't going to hit the numbers then. Like, tell me a month ago. Like, so I'm not like the day before I had my pre-order, bought it already, and I'm like, oh. Like, I already planned on playing it. I already planned, streaming it and doing all these things. I was like, what? But you know what? The thing is, too, I am the big super fan for that. So I will make it. I will wait for it. And I will be happy when it comes out. So I'm not mad, but I'm mad. It's just like, really? Come on, man.
Okay, well, you know what? How about this? At least you haven't been waiting over a decade for your game to come out. Okay?
Like, what, Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
Hey, finally Kingdom Hearts 3 got announced at least, so you are okay on that one.
Yeah, but supposedly it's coming out 2018. We don't know if it's really coming out 2018. It might come out 2019 or 2020. You know, just be, look, man, and you're in this case.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm okay with it. Like, I got my delayed South Park, which it was cool. And I will get my delayed Age of Empires. So I'm all right. But it's just, I was really excited to play Age of Empires. It's again, the 20-year anniversary. I can remember playing that game 20 years ago. That shows you how old I am. Man, when that game came out, I was on that tough. I was already in real deep with RTSs by that time. And, man, that game changed my life. I'll tell you what. So I was really excited to get on it. But hey, if they make it good, I'm okay with it. I'll wait. And I'm the fan who'll wait. And they're doing some betas. And since I've been a fan for so long, and I have like my old account with them, I get like access to the premium beta. So that's nice. Good. So I'll jump in on that. But so I'm alright. So.
But it's okay to still be mad. You can still.
Yeah, I was a little peeved. Like, you know, like at least like when South Park was delayed, they're like, oh, this game's coming out in 4 months, 3 months, but we're gonna delay it. Okay, cool. You need some dev time. But 2 days before, oh yeah, by the way, 6 months. Yeah, but you know, whatever. It's all good.
Great. So,
I think I got one more peeve topic, the big topic. Do you want to hit one, or should I get one?
No, look, both of our topics are huge peeve ones. So
this is going to go. I mean, this is kind of like I've been hearing more and more research on it. So for everybody listening and watching,
so let me get my notes prepared. I actually written down notes.
Good. No, that's good because more has come out that I actually found out this morning. As a matter of fact, I was doing some more on it just so I was make sure I was on point with it. But Visceral Studios being closed down by EA, and that's seems to be kind of a pattern with EA, kind of buying up studios and then after a while closing them down. But that's not the point. The point is, you know, Amy Hennig from the writer from Uncharted back in the day, great, one of my favorite games of all time, Uncharted 2, and she wrote it, so that's great. So she's working on the new Star Wars single player action like story based game. That sounded cool. Like I'm all about that. I'm gonna put myself on blast. I prefer Star Trek over Star Wars. I'm a Trekkie, but I love Star Wars as well.
That's fine.
So, but the thing is, the wording with the release kind of got me, and it was, I think the marketing, I think I have it written here. I don't know if I should read the quote, but I'll summarize it. Okay. It's just, they basically said, hey, after reviewing, you know, the market and getting some feedback from players, we've since going to pivot directions of the project to a more focused, or to a more, a way for players to come back again and again. So basically they want a monetized, or they want a game as a service model versus like single player stuff. Exactly. It's all about the money. And on our on Alien Genome's Tuesday talk show stream that we do, Mike and I, our topic was single player games. And the next day, this thing happened, and I asked if single player games. I asked because I love single player games. I'm a single player game, but I love single player story based games. Yeah, and so I was like, this came out, and like, I don't know if it's the beginning of the end, but like single player game experience is like it's going downhill, bro. And they just straight up are like, nah, and they're gonna keep the assets. They want to make money, and story based games aren't doing it nowadays. It's all games based on a service, and it's like, oh, come on. Like, these big ass companies, like big companies, they need to do that to move the needle. Like, one game putting $100 million on development and then getting 120 back is not enough for them. You know, like that's not enough. So they need to do this thing where they're making microtransactions. They're doing a online multiplayer. So I get it, but then it's just like, this one just feels nasty, bro. It's just like, yeah, they closed the studio, yanked the rug after them. They moved it to Vancouver, their EA Vancouver office. Yeah. Amy Hennig, they don't know their. I'm done. Go ahead, man.
Oh gosh, you know what? To be honest, like I said, I've been doing research on gaming. I've been trying to go back to learn the history about the industry and stuff, because, you know, that makes me a better, you know, podcaster. And this was something, like, when I heard that, it made me think of something that I read in Kotaku, like, a while back. And I'm glad I did this. So back in, like, you know, 2012, EA was originally planning on dropping single player content in their games anyways.
2012?
2012. Like, so Frank Jimbu, I don't know if I'm saying the last name right.
I'm not familiar with him.
But pretty much he's sort of like the president, like right under. Well, anyways, he basically had an interview with one of the writers from Kotaku, and he basically states that the whole business model of of making single player games is kind of a waste, since EA tends to make less games every year due to the high demand of like making games better. So it's like, of course, he kind of realized like single player games aren't the best. Him and Moore, their ultimate goal at EA is to try to make games that are sort of like PUBG, where they're just free and you just charge for everything.
That's everybody's model. I think the phones did the free-to-play model back, in 2007, 2008. And that was like the thing when it broke. The free-to-play model is a thing, and we don't want to get into loot boxes. But, but this is a whole new thing, because this is like, to me, it's like, I have the quote here. I put it up here. It says, I'm just going to read just a piece of it. It says, it has become clear to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time to come. We needed to pivot the design. We will maintain the stunning visuals, authenticity in Star Wars universe, and focus on bringing Star Wars story to life. Yeah, importantly, we are shifting the game to a broader experience that allows for more variety and player agency, blah, 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 blah.
Let me make sure I get the right thing. So, I guess what EA is saying is EA wants this. They want this. They want my money.
Oh, they obviously, and the thing is, they need money, because they have so much going on. They have so many different things. Like they're so big. They have so many people, and they need these big recurring games as a service games to move that needle. It's not going to be just these small experiences. Now, for me, it's kind of funny. There's always this dichotomy in the games industry. So there's B games, like the B tier or the AA and single A titles have never done well in the games industry. Ever. It's always AAA titles who make the big ass money, and the indie darlings who do it on a bootstrap budget and people love, and gems. But those games and everything in the middle, they can never find that space. And recently we've kind of seen a shift in a lot of games coming out for like, $19, $20, $25, $30, $10, which is good, because unfortunately the price of video games hasn't moved in years, man.
No.
Like back in the day, I remember buying SNES carts and Sega carts for $80, $90. Well, my mom and dad did. Like my mom and dad did, obviously. But now games at $60 haven't moved in 15 years. Like $60 has been the thing for that long. So it's like, I understand, and the game development has gone higher. So I can get why they want to move that needle, but don't be killing the single player story. But that's great. I love the story. I mean, Uncharted 2 is my top 3 favorite games of all time. It's fantastic. And all these experiences, I love long drawn out experiences, and it's just killing me, man. Like, I don't know. It seems kind of gross, this way they did it. They shut down a whole studio, yanked the rug. I agree. Yeah. And you know what? Who's to say? Maybe, honestly, like, we weren't behind the development. Maybe Amy Hennig and her team, maybe they were sucking ass. Maybe the game just looked like crap, and they're like, you know what? We have to make a move. No, that's a possibility. You know what I mean? Like, we can, from the outside, be like, that game would have been great. I wanted that game. But maybe it just sucked ass. Maybe they was just like, it had been in development for a couple years, so maybe it just wasn't good.
I don't know. I mean, look at freaking Mass Effect Andromeda. That was 5 years, and that release is a horrible, disgusting piece of crap, man. Like, I understand that may have like affected EA's decision to be like, okay, we just released one pile of shit.
Right.
And we worked 5 years on it.
Maybe they didn't want to do it again.
Yeah, and they were just like, no, we can't take this risk. That was a huge loss. So, like I said, I get it. I definitely get it. But for them to just be like, abandon the single player experience, mostly because they noticed that, the games like free to play economy and the online multiplayer games are like this huge thing. It's really not, man. I feel like, and it also goes into the loot box thing with how Activision is with Overwatch and stuff. And yeah, I'm not going there yet. I will be going there, but I'm not going there yet.
I will follow you into that mess willingly.
But yeah, because of this, it's sort of giving like every other like publisher that excuse to just be like, I don't really need to make, single player type games. Or if I do make a single player type game, just like Frank said, if you make one that's open world and that has like multiplayer aspects where players can still, meet each other and stuff. And we've had games where, they've been multiplayer only and they've had like crappy single player content. For example, Titanfall. Titanfall was the worst piece of shit of all time. And that was a multiplayer only game.
Really? I thought Titanfall 2 campaign was pretty good this year.
See. That's your problem. You're talking about Titanfall 2. I'm talking about Titanfall.
Oh, Titanfall was missing a lot, but they doubled down. Yeah, you're right. The Titanfall first one was just kind of like meh. It was very forgettable. Very forgettable. It was maybe like 4 hours long, and that was it. Yeah.
That's the whole point, though. But it was just like, you see that example. And I guess the best example of Frank's analogy now would be Final Fantasy 15, where it's like, it's a single player game. It's got a single player story. And they're slowly adding stuff to it to make people keep coming back. Once again, it's in the show notes if you want to see it. It's actually a very good read. But yeah, Frank basically said the same thing. He was like, if you're going to do this, just make it to the point where you keep constantly throw stuff. I mean, I think 2010 season passes weren't that big a deal at the time. But it was.
I slightly disagree with that sentiment from Frank a little bit. I don't think I would rather you make a really good standalone single player game that you put everything into it, and like Uncharted, that was great.
That was
Last of Us. That was great. They didn't need to throw anything else at Last of Us.
Had multiplayer, so that goes back.
But the thing is, the tail on those weren't long. They had Uncharted had multiplayer, but it was like 3-4 months. There was a shoehorn because multiplayer, EA and all these big companies, they shoehorn it in. But for me, it's like to play that campaign and just enjoy that 10, 12, 15-hour experience, 8-hour experience, and get in, get out, and just have that revelry and love for that game. That's fine. Now, what you do, you come back and you give me an expansion or more content for that later. Sure, I'll go back to it. But like that Last of Us expansion, fantastic, right? That extra story, that's great. But for me, it's that story piece. If you make just a solid, good piece of art, a great story, I don't care. I don't need stuff bolted onto it. You don't need that. You don't have to have multiplayer. That's the problem. Everyone thinks you have to have it. You don't. Like, you don't have to have it. So, but the thing is, I don't like the fact of like, oh, just have a multiplayer game, just have like the player involvement. Like, no, that's just bolting. Like, that's obvious. You can see the hinges on that, and I don't like that. I don't like seeing stuff shoehorned in, or seeing like microtransactions shoehorned in, or seeing, oh, like, yeah, you can kind of interact, or like the Shadow of War crap out now. Like,
God. Gamer Composer, I did not start it. I did not say it. I did not start it up this time.
I'm not even gonna touch. I'm not gonna touch the loot box on Shadow of War, because that's another topic. I'm gonna talk about, because I'm gonna keep it on the single player. Okay. The asymmetric gameplay, just like they did in Metal Gear Solid 5, where you take on the bases and all this crap. I mean, if you want to do that, cool, but that's just a bolted on thing to say we have multiplayer. Yeah. You don't need that. You don't need it. Yeah, you don't need that. Like, if that is a part of your game, and that's part of the lore, part of the story, part of what it is, sure, build it into the game. But don't bolt it on. To me, that's a blatant, that's gross. I would rather have that. So, yes, people today like multiplayer. That's great. But if you're making a multiplayer game, make a freaking multiplayer game. If your story allows for multiplayer to be involved, for players to interact, make that into the game. If you have a single player experience where you're relying on emotions, time, like beauty of design, of the environments, like the story-based elements, make that, and that's okay. And my whole thing is if EA doesn't want to do that anymore, then that's fine. Then stop doing it. Okay, then leave the space. That's okay. I'm all right. Yeah, but don't start this project and bring all these people in this great studio, buy a studio, and then just basically shit on all these people and close the studio down. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying is, like, if you're good, you don't need to make single player games if that's not what you want your business model. That's fine. Let other people do it because it's still great.
I agree, man. I did not like the way how they just did Visceral Games like that.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, also seeing if you only make single player type games, like The Order 1886, that was a good game. That's a good game. Like
short though. 6 hours, you're done. 4 or 5 hours.
But that's how most single player games was. And it made you want to come back to do the extra content. But a lot of people were just pissed about it because it was $60.
And it was too short. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. But, I feel like now single player games are becoming that, niche type thing, whereas it's now slowly moving into indie category type area.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because I love big time single player experience. I love RPGs. That's my thing, man. I'm a single player gamer. I like single player games. Now I do like my multiplayer, especially with my RTS games, but like a good long drawn out like story where I can get involved, where I can just turn the brain off and just like be in this world. I mean, that is to me that's what gaming is about. Just to really enjoy and like just kind of wring it out. I like that a lot, and I don't want that to lose. And I brought that up on our show on Tuesday. That's just I'm worried about that. And I hope they don't go away with that. This is just kind of like, ooh. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're gonna lose it, but this is just kind of like I think we gotta figure something out.
I kind of feel like we're gonna start to lose it, and it's gonna create like a weird divide. So it's gonna be like
I don't
old
think
school
we're there.
Gamers who want story, new school gamers that just want to play online. So
right. Well, but there's always been that split. There's always been the Call of Duty players who buy the game and play the campaign, and the ones who just have never touched the campaign and just go straight to multiplayer. Like I was one back in the day. When the Call of Duty was good campaigns, I used to play the campaign, and I would just play some multiplayer. I wouldn't really mess with the multiplayer that much. So that was the opposite. So I play multiplayer with friends, because I was a football player and our college football player buddies. We'd always play with each other like that, on online. But other than that, like I didn't really play. I wasn't triple prestige and stuff, like it's not me.
Yeah.
But I hope we don't go the route. But I don't know.
Visceral Games, we're sorry to see you go, man. You know what? Come on back. Do something like Hellblade, man. Just do a Hellblade. I think you can do it, and it'll be successful. And then when you guys make that money, just do what Kojima did with Konami, and just go like,
basically.
All right, I can go more into this, but I'm trying not to.
Yeah, it's your turn. I've talked enough. I want to see what you got.
I know, but the problem is, it's like I don't know which one to go into. I got two topics that are like just as bad.
Hey, bro, we can make a 2-hour episode when I'm here, and we can split it in half. We can do whatever. I'm here for the long haul. All you people listening, I'm supporting this man, whatever he's got to say. So,
oh gosh, man. All right, well let's go. Damn, it's a flip of the coin, folks.
All right, let's see what we got.
I guess I'll go with David Ballard being sexually harassed at Naughty Dog.
Oh yeah, you weren't kidding. All right, let's let me roll these sleeves up a little bit.
So, of course, due to the aftermath of a certain Hollywood executive, I'm not even giving his name a fucking attention. You fucking asshole. But anyways,
disgusting human being.
Yeah,
makes me sick to my stomach.
David Ballard pretty much sent like this tweet out October 14th. And it was like a Saturday. It was on like a Saturday morning or something like that, right? Yeah. And he talks about being sexually harassed at Naughty Dog and the work environment becoming very toxic for him. And then in 2016 of February, he had a mental breakdown and he told Sony HR about the harassment, and they just ended the call and fired him the next day. And the company cited that he was they were moving in a different direction, and
his job was redundant or something like that, right?
Yeah. And then they tried to offer him $20,000 if he signed a letter agreeing to his termination as well, to not discuss it with anyone. And then he's been he was unemployed for 17 months, and it was just one of those things that was like kind of hard for him to speak about. And at the time, like, I still believe, and there have been people, especially on Reddit, like not like a lot, but a few people that are just, you know, trying to say like, oh, he's just doing that for attention or for a job and stuff. And I don't like, no offense, but no one. I know there's been some crazy shit that's been happening in this world, especially in 2017, but I don't think anyone would just use that as an opportunity to be like, hire me or something like that. And then of course, Naughty Dog made a, you know, reply saying they didn't get any information. They don't have anything, but they will investigate. Well, yeah, I guess they're just, you know, Naughty Dog just kind of made like a boring ass statement.
Right.
It's no point.
It was a generic corporate speak.
Yeah.
Statement. I'm kind of torn on this one, man.
Me too.
I don't know. I'll let you give your 2 cents on it, and then I'll give mine. Go ahead.
No, I'm actually really torn. Like, I really don't know what to say. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, if it's true, I don't know. Like, I'm already boycotting Capcom games, or at least Capcom fighting games, and it's like, I've enjoyed Uncharted, and it's like I'm about to play Uncharted 2, and it's like one of those things where it's like that. Do I need to go sell my Naughty Dog games? Do I need to stop playing The Last of Us? And
No. I don't think it's there. I guess I did some research on this actually this morning, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so I'm kind of up to speed on this. Working in a lot of big companies, especially game companies, and seeing how this stuff happens. At a company the size of Naughty Dog or these big EAs or all this stuff, harassment does and will occur. It's just going to happen. Just the nature of people, the nature of interactions. It's just whether someone does it intentionally or unintentionally. It's just so many different human beings. The probability of this occurring is the truth. It is what it is. Okay. There were some statements yesterday, as a matter of fact, from some of his coworkers. I think Polygon did some research on it, and they interviewed off the record some people, and their statements were they were kind of blindsided by this. But they said they support him, believe him. But what they also do is they also support Naughty Dog, saying that yes, this may have happened, but he probably didn't bring it up in an official way or lately, and Naughty Dog wasn't hiding anything. And so they said that if Naughty Dog was in the business, so to speak, of covering things up, then they wouldn't be there. Neither would a lot of other people. That was our quote. And so to me, I can understand that. And I can also understand why he would come out with it, because personally, I have some things that I want to talk about on some other deals about coming out with some other companies myself, but I'm going to hold that, you know, so there are things. So I don't think he needs to go out and defend himself, because people will be like, oh, he's just trying for attention. Like, if this is the case, it's the case. Like, if you're harassed by a manager or product manager or higher up, whether it's sexually, whether it's, you know, verbally, whether it's just any other way, emotionally, physically, like, and, you know, it happens, you are in the right, and that is a bad thing. Now, where he goes from here, I don't know. I'm not sure if he wants to pursue legal action. I'm not sure what. That's one thing that I wasn't clear on. I don't know his next steps. I don't know what his reasons are, but maybe he had a mental breakdown. Maybe this was a step to get it off his chest and not hold this back, because this was killing him inside. You know, which. Okay, and then you know what? If this brings more awareness to the companies, maybe Naughty Dog had this happen to other employees. Maybe that'll help other employees come out and be like, "Hey, you know what? This is happening." Or other big companies in the gaming industry and other industries to be like, "Hey, yeah, this is happening to me too." And so if it helps people, cool. But I don't know. The only thing that's kind of crappy about it is the statement from Naughty Dog. It was so generic and like really corporate. And it was less than like 24 hours afterwards. So they didn't even look into it or anything. They were just like, oh yeah, X equals Y. Like, oh, if someone ever says this about like a company, stamp. Yeah, go into the legal jargon bucket and throw it out. There we go. and that's what makes it a little kind of weird and gross. But I'm kind of torn on it. Like, I support the man 100% if this is the case. Like, don't be harassing people. Like, not cool. Nah, don't do that. Don't. If you're a big company, like, take care of it. And if he did get terminated, like, right afterwards, that's bull. Like, something needs to happen.
Something does.
Yeah, but the thing is, he needs to make a point and be clear what he wants to happen instead of just coming out and just saying things. And that's what's been bad about this, is he just came out and said something, tweeted something.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It would have been better if he had like made a video or
made a statement and then got
statement.
got legal like went and did this the right way, an official way. Wrote a press release and they had legal reaction. If he wanted this to get out to the public, make a statement of why he was saying it, why he was doing it. Now I don't think anyone should have to justify telling why they got harassed. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think that his situation he's not alone in that. And I think many other people have had that. So maybe he can do some good with this and get some awareness, because all the, the Me Too hashtag that's been going around on Twitter, which is super big, because I'm a big proponent of women's rights. That's another thing the Alien Genome is pushing. Like, I am pushing women's rights or a lot of charity stuff we're going to be doing here soon. Three most important people in my life are my mother, my sister, and my wife, period. Like, bar none. And so I think harassment and everything in the culture needs to be addressed. And I just wish that we had a clear reason, or he had a better reason why he wanted to come out with that. But I still think he's totally validated, and he should never have to deal with that, period. But it's weird. It's like, I want to hate on Naughty Dog, but it's like, I don't have enough information to be like, hey, what did you know? Like, if you guys let this happen, you guys suck. Like, period. Uncharted 2 is no longer my favorite game. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
See, we'll have more, if it develops more.
Yeah.
But it still needed to be mentioned, at least.
Oh, totally. And it's happening, and it's happening in our industry and where we're at. Like, if this was in, like, any other company, like the insurance company, that's bad. But, it doesn't touch us close to home. But now this is in game development, and we already know how many studios have bad work practices and, working their people too hard and firing people after a game's launch and, like, bad hours. And, like, it's just already the gaming industry is getting a bad rap for bad working conditions. This just kind of exacerbates that situation, and it's kind of rough. It sucks, but, yeah, it needs to be addressed.
Speaking of something that needs to be addressed.
Oh, yes. Now we can get into the real stuff
man.
That we know about and we have opinions on. We support you, Ballard, but damn, I know about this one coming up.
Yeah, this one's kind of like the everyone's picked a side now, and the war is about to begin. Gamergate 6, ladies and gentlemen.
Gamergate 2017, where the Fox News like
loot boxes. Yes, I know you guys may be tired of hearing it. I know a few of you guys are. But it's one of those things that we need to discuss because, last time I checked, this all started from mostly Activision making way crap tons of money. Let me get the actual facts. So Activision of 2016 has made $6 billion, $61 million from mostly digital revenue, and that was up from last year's $4.87 billion. So they've been making
say that number one more time. That first one,
$6.61 billion. Sorry, but I was saying $6 billion, $61 million,
but still, dang.
Yeah. So most of that, of course, it's not all from loot boxes, but you also have to remember they have Hearthstone and they have World of Warcraft, which is pretty much the same thing. They kind of have quote-unquote loot boxes as well, especially Hearthstone, but that's a free-to-play game, right? Just want to make sure I put this out there for you. So, of course, let me go into the reason of loot boxes. Let me go into the fun side of it. First of all, loot boxes are fun. They're colorful. They have the colorful animations. We all love the surprise random factor of like, ooh, did I get something new and shiny and the colors and the prettiness and stuff? And, let's be honest, man. I've done it. I've dropped $30 on loot boxes. Mostly I did it because I was like, you know what? I paid $60 for a game and I don't have to pay for anything and I get free updates. Yeah.
What kind of loot box? Was the loot box for
Overwatch
stuff? I know. Okay. Because it's a difference for like the mobile type stuff where you buy like to save time, or you buy all the gems and like or whatever. Like those are different. So those are See, there's a couple different things. There's the loot box, there's the blind box, there's the
mystery box,
paid currency, the paid currencies, the pay to win stuff. There's all this stuff that's in the thing. So continue on.
That's all. No, you're right. And that's all in the category of this little loot box.
Garbage.
So yeah, man. PC Gamer, of course, decided to, do an article and pretty much show the world, or at least explain to the world, why loot boxes aren't free. Problem.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Luke Clark,
mm-hmm.
who also was interviewed by PC Gamer,
mm-hmm.
basically tells us
he's a game theorist or something like that, I think.
Yes, he is, and a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically says, the player is basically working for a reward by making a series of responses, but the rewards are delivered unpredictably. We know that the dopamine system, which is targeted by drugs of abuse, is also very interested in unpredictable rewards. Dopamine cells are most activated when there's a maximum uncertainty, and the dopamine system responds more to an uncertain reward than the same reward delivered by predictable basis.
I know this science, yeah, exactly. So if you know the reward you're going to get, this is my biochemistry background coming into play. The response and the neurological response is actually higher in something if you're surprised by a reward, like or if you're like, oh, if I push this button, I push this button once, I get 3 cookies. Ooh, that's nice. Do the puzzle. Push this button, 3 cookies. Ooh, dopamine response. Push this button, get 3 cookies. Oh. 3 cookies. Oh. 3 cookies. Oh. Okay. And then it goes down. That's why people who do drugs need more and more and more drugs. It's because your dopamine response is lessened on every single thing. That's why when you vary that response, you don't know. So every single time it's something new and exciting. It could be great. It could be the most amazing thing. It could be that final sword you got, or 2 extra, cards or whatever it is. But that's why the varied loot box is such a big thing. I actually, before I knew we were going to talk about this today, so I actually did a little bit of research on loot boxes, and I have a couple stats here. Can I drop a couple?
Oh yeah, man. Okay, go for it, please do.
The first ever loot box occurred in a Chinese free-to-play game called ZT Online in 2007. The first in a Western game. Do you know what game? Can you guess?
World of Warcraft?
No, it was in 2010. Very recent, surprisingly, and in Team Fortress 2.
Really?
Yes, Team Fortress 2. What else do I have here? Yeah, so isn't that surprising? So that's what I'm saying. Loot boxes are a very, very new thing in games. Like we've had like getting loot and everything in WoW, but a loot box, like the typical thing, and that's that happened when Valve transitioned the game from buying to free to play, as they made loot boxes, and you could open with purchasable keys. Okay, and then there's a couple more. The first one. Yeah, the first ones that came in RPGs were in Star Trek and Lord of the Rings Online in 2011. And now, taking out the Team Fortress 2, the very first purchasable packs was in Mass Effect 3 in 2012.
Yes, that is correct.
But
that's why I mentioned it.
That's so surprising. 2012, but it's not. That's why this is a big thing, because we've only had a few years for them to mature. And now they've matured, people figuring them out, how to really take advantage of them. After about 5 years of really figuring out how to make loot boxes, exactly. We know it's about the money, but they figured it out by using, Blizzard employs, psychologists, everything, all these big companies. So did you hear that patent thing where they patented the whole?
Oh man, gosh.
So that's what I'm saying and now it's coming to a head. People are like, oh, they didn't care because it was new and they were in there. But now that they've narrowed it down to a science and made loot boxes so refined and so perfectly to maximize what their potential damage or potential effectiveness technically can be, now people are like, oh, snap. Whoa, this sucks. Because it's getting bad. But when they first were messing around, they were just like, oh, loot boxes, they suck. Don't buy them if you don't want them. I want to buy it. Yeah, or not, even if they were buyable, and you're like, whatever, I don't have to do it, or this sucks, they suck. But now they are so refined, these killing machines of loot boxes. They're so pervasive in every game. Now that we're like, oh my God. Okay, wow, this is getting crazy.
Look, folks, I understand that loot boxes, most people don't have to do it. But as we said, and as we mentioned from the freaking science, not everyone has the willpower to just say no. Like
and that's the bad thing for me. It takes advantage of the people who maybe have gambling addictions. And now, I think I brought this up on on our stream recently on our talk show. Was on the Alien Genome one. It was I would like to see data, and I actually told myself I was going to research it. I didn't, so I apologize to everyone listening. But I will do the research on it. But I would like to see the proportion or the demographic, the proportion of gamers who have higher addictive personalities than the general populace. Yes, because I think that people who play video games probably, this is my hypothesis, would probably have a higher ratio of people who have addictive personality types, or at least can lean towards that. We may not be like crazy addicts, but I know when I was a kid, there's some games I was obsessed with. I couldn't stop thinking. I wouldn't sleep because all I did was think about playing this game, or I think that's a quality that's probably necessary for a gamer. You have to be a little obsessive to play a game all the way through, or to grit through a tough part, or to like really do everything. So I really want to see that. And so if that's the case, then utilizing this strategy for monetizing in the business world, on my business side, for monetizing your target demographic, your target audience is kind of it's not good, because you're just taking advantage of a tendency, and this probably would work more effectively than, let's say, an elderly population, or a population who does the X, or who may not have as much of addictive personality. So I think that's what's getting me with these loot boxes. I hate them. I don't like anything about it. I want the days where you put down $60 and you buy a game. I don't even want season passes. I don't want that. Only thing I want is DLC. And I want DLC
I want that
additional. I want a additional DLC. I don't want you to release 3/4 of your game and then release the other fourth as like a purchasable thing. No. Seriously. I'll buy the game. I'll pay whatever. I'll pay $80. I don't care if it's the full ass game and there's no bullshit around it. And then if I want to play in the space more, like Skyrim did it. Like they had the 2 huge DLC downloads. Fine. Like RTS games used to do it all the time. They'd have the full game, they'd have so many expansions where they add civilizations, add technologies, game refinements. Sure, I bought every expansion. Like expansions, like they've gone out. There's no such thing as an expansion anymore. And so I don't want any of this shit in my games. I don't want it. I'm tired of it. I don't like it. I don't do it. Like I'm playing South Park and there's all this Ubisoft currency popping up all over the screen from my Uplay account. It's like, oh, this costume, like in the inventory. So I go into a store in South Park, right, to buy an item. I can only buy it with the Uplay currency.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? No, I guess this won't have that item. And like, cause in Stick of Truth, I got the platinum trophy because I got every single item in the game. I'm like, I'm not gonna get everyone in this game. I'm not gonna do it. Now you earn the currency. Like I did a couple missions and I got a lot of achievements points for doing some extra things quickly and stuff. So, you earned 20 points to this thing. And so now I could buy some of those items, or I could pay some money for it. No, man. Like I think they should definitely, if they're going to do loot boxes, they should be cosmetic, and they need to say what the percentage of what you have to get in it and be honest about it. Period.
Actually, for Overwatch, Activision Blizzard had to...
You have numbers?
Yep.
Ooh,
they have to do it in China. So
I remember that. Yeah, because that's a requirement. I lived in China for a year. I know the Chinese are much stricter about a lot of stuff like that.
Yes, they were. So they said for every 5.5 loot boxes, so basically for every 6 loot boxes you buy on average, you unlock an epic item, and for legendary, it's like every 13.5 boxes. So like 14. So pretty much the percentage of getting epic coming out of your loot box because of that would be 18.2, and then legendary would be 7.4%.
7.3, yep. 7.4, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I like math. I'm sorry. I'm a math guy. But see, this is the thing. This is why this is still bullshit. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just pissed.
It is bullshit. Even the ESRB doesn't feel like it's a problem.
Listen to this. Yes, every 6 loot boxes you get an epic item. But do they say anything about the probability of getting duplicate items.
Yes.
Oh.
And you get that a lot. You do get legendary and epic duplicates more.
Exactly.
I've gotten it before.
But I'm saying, that's the problem. They don't say that. They say, oh yeah, you can get an epic item. But I guarantee there's an algorithm in there that gives you the same. Or there's things, or there's epics that drop more than the other epics. You know, and then there's like, I guarantee this algorithm in there that's like, oh, let's look what they have in their inventory. Oh, they have this already. Let's give them this one 2 times again, and then not the 5th time. So that it becomes every 22 boxes you get that epic one you want. Because, you know what I mean? So that is what's crap. Oh yeah, here, this is the probability. But no, I'm not jiving with that at all. That's crap.
And if you think this is just stretching it a little bit too far, think about the freaking patent that they just made.
Yeah, exactly. They are literally monetizing a brain dopamine psychological response to gaming.
Just saying. And to the ESRB, they basically say, you know, loot boxes are fine because you still get something and you're not using real cash. Even though you are using real cash. I don't understand.
Yeah, you're not using it directly. That's the thing is here, get this. This goes back to my random knowledge here and there. Okay, so in California, there's casinos, and they're all on Indian reservations, right?
Yes.
And I'm in California, everybody. I'm in Los Angeles. But in San Diego, when I was living in San Diego, there's tons of reservations about half hour outside of the city, and there's a couple around. But one thing you cannot do in California is play craps or other dice games, because they've associated that was a law 20 years ago. They associated that with gangs, you know, like playing dice and stuff. So casinos, all the Indian casinos, they have, you know, there's blackjack, there's Texas Hold'em, there's roulette, everything, but craps and other dice games you cannot do. So what do they do to get around them? What they do, the deal is, so on the table, there are 5 slots. No, there's 5 slots on the table, right? 6 slots on the table. And every little card squares, and underneath it is a dice, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the dice. And they take the deck of cards and they put a card in each slot. So the dice roll, then you play craps, you roll the die, and that card or that dice equals a card and not a die. That's how they get around playing craps here in California. Now, that's not direct dice game. It's a card game, because the cards are what's being read, even though the dice equal the cards. Now, when the ESRB says some BS crap like, oh, they're not using real money, how the hell do you think you got the game?
Schnog.
Money. You bought money. Like, you're spending time and money. How the heck do you think you get the extra cosmetic items? Money. How do you think you get to continue playing the game online? By paying an online, you know, PS Plus fee. How do you think you get to continue the game? By buying the season pass. That's money. Like, what are you talking about? Yes, you're not directly paying. You're not going, hey, here's my $5, you know, and I got 5 on black, you know, and you're not gambling in that sense. But, you know, in a lot of games you're literally buying blind loot boxes. So I don't know what they're talking about. Some games you're not. So to me, that's like the most bogus statement I've ever heard. Like, you remember DraftKings and all those fools 3 years ago got just hammered because of the gambling in fantasy football. But these, it's rampant. It's literally gambling. Period. Like, shut up. It's gambling. Like,
it's gambling. Shut up.
Random. There's no skill based on it. It's not a skill based game. It's gambling.
There's not. And for
it takes no skill to click a button and open a loot box.
It really doesn't. And then for those that say, like, for the game that's built in, like, Assassin's Creed Origins, now, like, that has loot boxes. And that's mostly in-game. Like, you use in-game currency to buy it. Once again.
It's the same as the South Park stuff.
Exactly. Once again. You have the option of, yes, spending the money that you get in-game. But how much money are you going to get for doing these missions? You're probably not going to get enough.
Not a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've been playing South Park for 12 hours and I have maybe 25 currency, 30 currency, and like some of these items cost like 15, 20. So like every 12 hours I can get one item, and there's like 70 or 100 extra ones that I can't buy.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about the freaking new South Park game, and I haven't played it.
One thing I will give kudos to the Assassin's Creed Origins game, which I actually going to play because I fell off of Assassin's Creed after 3 came out. I was so excited because I was a huge Assassin's Creed fan. Like I played the crap out of the number 2. I platinum 2 Brotherhood and Revelations. Platinum. Straight up. I love those games. 3 came out and I was like, this is garbage. I threw it in the trash. I literally threw the disc in the trash. This was crap. I broke it in half, threw it in the trash. It was so bad. It was janky and broken. So I haven't played Assassin's Creed since. But this game, I'm going to play the regular mode, like you fight. But there's what's the mode? Explorer mode?
Discovery.
Yeah, Discovery. Yeah.
Where
that's
you get
awesome.
to just explore.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's a really cool thing because they built such a beautiful, great world.
Yes,
like they spent time making a world. And honestly, being a history buff, ancient Egypt is one of my favorite times. And I even took Egyptology in college. So this is like, it's really going to be cool. That's a cool feature. Like, cause it's right there, that eliminates loot boxes. Now, the second in the discovery function, they're like, oh, in order to go inside this temple, you have to pay currency. That's when I'm going to start punching people. But
what if they do that, though?
Oh, my. Man.
That would be hilarious.
Man. You know what? Because it would kind of almost be like a sightseeing tour where it's like, oh, you got to pay for like your guide and everything. Oh, God, they could oh, no. You better edit this out. Because if this gets to gets to freaking Ubisoft, oh man!
I think Ubisoft already thought of this idea. I think Chronicles the Kriti must have just like announced that.
Well, they do have a guide with you, so that's kind of cool. So you're taking a tour around Egypt, which I think is awesome. It's a great idea. I think it's awesome. I think that is. I think even in something like big, beautiful open world games like Skyrim, just to go around is lovely and beautiful. Like I'm trying to finish, what is it? Horizon Zero Dawn right now, and before South Park came out, but South Park, so I had to finish that. But I'm about 28 hours into Horizon, probably about 3/4 done with it, so I'm gonna knock that out. But that world is beautiful. It's amazing, and that would have been cool, even though it's not a real place. But yeah, like. Brand new games, loot boxes. Forza. Did you hear about Forza? What they're doing with their loot boxes?
I heard they recently changed their shit because it was literally pay to win. So
no. Get this. So Forza's known for their loot boxes and that BS, that pay to win stuff, right? So they're like, oh, at the time release, we have no loot boxes. None at all. We're not doing any loot boxes at this time.
They pulled the Capcom and just lied. They pulled the cap.
No. It's none of that. That's a true statement. We have no loot boxes at this time.
At this time? Yeah, so
they're coming. They're coming.
Yeah,
so they're coming in a month. It's in a month. They're putting them in.
Oh man.
Yep.
You know what? We're gonna stop there with all the loot box shit. We're just after this, I feel dirty.
I know I need to take a shower. Bro.
Yeah, we really do. So
we should take a shower and some good positive game talk. That's another thing. Alien Genome's all about positivity in the game industry. But there's a lot of stuff that pisses us off in the industry. So we had to get that off our chest before we get positive, right?
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a small break, and then when we come back, we're gonna get into the next topic. So stay tuned. Hi there, guys. Welcome back. And now we're gonna get into Indie Radar. This is where we like to talk about indie games that we love and we had a fun time playing, man. Indie Radar.
Indie Radar.
I'm gonna let you take it away.
Yeah, I just got back. I just bought like 7 loot boxes. You know what I got?
What?
I got a cool indie game though. That's not how that works. You don't get anything good out of loot boxes. Don't buy loot boxes.
Loot boxes are bad, folks. Schnog does not
agree. We take a stand with our wallets. Don't buy them. And then it doesn't come back in the game. And then we get Star Wars single-player games. I'm just saying. It all comes around. All right. So for my Indie Radar, so one of the shows that I do on Alien Genome is called Bundle Binge. It's really kind of a weird thing that I just thought of, and I kind of really enjoy doing it. So you guys all know about the bundles. Oh, that's another thing. That's a weird topic that I talk about. IGN buying Humble Bundle. Oh man. So dang, we'll get that in the next episode. Yeah. So you guys know the bundle sites, Bundle Stars, Indie Bundle, Humble Bundle, all these bundle sites. A lot of times they come out with pretty good deals with bundles. Some of them are just like garbage and some are not, but like sometimes you get like 20 games for $1 or they're just little ones, but every once in a while, like, you get some really good bundles. So on the show, I buy a bundle, and a really good one that I think is good, and I play all the games for like 10, 15 minutes, and you can take a quick look at it to see if you want to buy the bundle too. And I just kind of go through, and so it really gives me a chance to experience a lot of random ass games. So for this one was on Indie Bundles. This is on Bundle Stars on the Indie Legend Bundle 6, I think, like 2 months ago or a month ago. And it's called Chroma Squad. And let me tell you, I started the game, and the reason why I do the show is because the first 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes of a game, you're like, you try to get into it, but this lets you skip that part. Well, the second I turned on this game, I was like having fun. I was like, oh, this is rad. And it's, okay, so what it is, in a real quick sense, not getting too deep, it's basically 16-bit pixel art type of, it's like a 12-bit. It's like in between 8 and 16. It's like it's kind of funny. But it's, if you guys play Final Fantasy Tactics or any like, XCOM, it's kind of like that. Yeah, right? It's a tactical RPG. So you have a squad and you're moving around and thing. And I'm old, and I remember the day when Go Power Rangers came out, the real Power Rangers. And it's basically, they aped and riffed on the Power Rangers theme, right? So that you're basically playing Power Rangers. So your squad are Power Rangers. But another level deep is your Power Rangers, but you're in the show. You're actually actors in the show on another level. So like there's a director in the background. Okay, now here comes the monster. And like the actors are like, no, we gotta do this. Like the director's always mean to us. So you're doing the battles in the show. So and then, so the beginning of the game starts off with you leave the, like the director's being a dick, and you guys all quit, and you start your own studio, and you call yourself the Chroma Squad, and you basically pick your actors, like who they are, their names, like what their tendencies are, what they like to do, and then you pick their colors, or what their superhero persona is, and then you basically make a TV show based on Power Rangers, but you're playing a tactical RPG inside the show. You're actually fighting the monsters. It is awesome. Like, all the dialogue is great, the music is good, the animations are fantastic, and I got in about 30 minutes of it, and I was like, dude, if I played another like 2 hours, it's phenomenal. I have to go back to that. So if you guys want it, pick it up on Steam. It is super, it's not even that expensive. It's
on
totally
PS4,
worth your time.
So.
Oh, it is on PS4. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's right.
Sweet. Then even better. Dude, definitely play it. It's fun if you've had a chance. So that's my indie shout out. So good on them, because it hits on all beats. It hits the tactical RPG, it hits the humor, it hits the really interesting concept of like the double layers of like the show within a show thing, and it also hits on like nostalgia of Power Rangers. So who doesn't like Power Rangers, man? Like,
maybe
awesome.
Who doesn't?
The original Power Rangers. I mean, I don't think Power Rangers XJR 15 Fighter Powers. No, the originals. Yeah. Like all the crazy Power Rangers, like Power Rangers like 7 they did. No, like the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Go catch
it. That's my indie radar.
All right, man. I still can't find my 360 controller, but I will when I get when the income starts coming in. I'm gonna start getting some mini games for the PS4. But in the meantime, we're gonna go straight into sound tests. Any video game OSTs that we've listened to and we liked and enjoy. Sound test. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Of course, man. The guest goes first. This is just automatic supersonic. You're going to go first the whole time.
Okay. Well, shoot. So Evocution here kindly let me know that my sound test was too long for the segment, because as soon as he says video game soundtracks, that's one of my MOs. I love music and games. And homeboy was like, hey, you like any soundtracks? And I'm like, hell yeah, I do. I started like typing away. I sent him MP3s. And he's like, bruh, like chill out. So I'm going to do a quick couple mentions of ones that I love. And then I'm going to actually talk about the real ones. So, my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy VII. I got to give a shout out. It's one of my jams. More specifically, the bombing raid mission one right in the beginning of the game. Sets it off right. Just sets it off perfect. You hear that tune? It's just right. I mean, right after the and then when the beat drops, oh man, that's my jam. And I have to give a shout out to Mario Galaxy. because I love the Mario Galaxy soundtrack. Mario Galaxy 1, more specifically. The whole time I played that game, I was just sitting there. I would listen to the music. Like, before I'd start the level, I'd just be like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it was awesome. But the soundtracks, my highlight for what I actually want to talk about this time are Sonic Mania and Cuphead. Those are the recent ones I just heard, and they're both kind of old school throwback. But the Sonic Mania soundtrack, oh my goodness. They did a fantastic job of up-resing these old school Sonic game tracks to just perfect levels. They remastered it. Then the second act, they did a whole new take on them, like a whole new... It was great. So the first act was the original sound, but like totally up-res and added more beats and more hits. Yeah. It was, oh man, like the Chemical Plant Zone. I'm telling you what, man, I could just be like in the club, just like getting on that one. That's just, man, Chemical Plant Zone. And then Cuphead would just perfectly in a different, the Sonic Mania it's kind of nostalgia mixed with really good sound design. Like, it just, everything went really well. It's just so good. So it has that mix. Cuphead, on the other hand, is more perfectly what's the word I want? Tone setting in the environment. It sets the aesthetic perfectly. It matches the 1930s Max Fleischer cartoons, Disney animation for the 30s style. It puts you in that feel. It's every song, every boss fight is perfect, and it does a great job with that. And I think that's kind of, so they're both different ways. One is just like, I'm getting the nostalgia, and the music is great. And this one, it just sets the tone perfectly. So that's my sound test, bro.
Okay. I only got one. Mr. I asked for 2. You give me like 20. And if you want to be honest, I could have gave like 120.
Well, that's what you do. I mean, you're a sound guy. You like music too. So I had to get on your level, man. I like sound music a lot. Or game music.
It's fine. I get it. Well, I got Xenoblade Chronicles and the OST. Nice. I've been listening to the whole OST. A few tracks I've been enjoying is Earth, Sea, Night. It's like Earth, Sea, and then it's the Night Edition.
Okay.
That. And yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna do one. Just one. I'm still listening to the OST, so I'm think I might have some more. Save it for the next week. But yeah, I just go around listening to like different OSTs. But I think I'm gonna go straight into Sonic Mania because I've been really
do it, man.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear some of that music.
Yeah, because I'm sure you're on point with all the Sonic. You played all the Sonic games, or a lot of them. I mean, I'm a Sonic apologist. I'm sorry. People think they're trash. I played Sonic like it was my job. I was a Sega kid, so like I love Sonic games. I actually played 2 newer ones on my bundle binge recently, and Sonic Adventure 2. Ugh.
Whoa, sorry, I like Sonic Adventure 2.
I said Adventure 1 is good. Adventure 2, oh my goodness.
Adventure 1 sucked, man. You have to play as big.
But
and
Adventure
that fishy
2,
shit.
Dude, Adventure 2, I turned on the game and you start off as Robotnik. You can't even, all you do is push square the whole time, or B the whole time, and just like, I was like,
yeah, that was fine, man. You just hold B and you jump around, man.
And I was like, this is lame. But what I really liked was Sonic Generations.
Yeah, I did too.
Great. So anyway, so that's it.
But you're not a true Sonic fan if you haven't played Sonic 06.
What is that?
The original Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, not the original, but Sonic the Hedgehog, made in 2016. I mean, in 2006.
I never played it.
You should try it, man. I think it might be for you.
Are you joking, man?
No, Ted. You should try it, man. Just go to GameStop. You find the Sonic event, like buy Sonic the Hedgehog at GameStop. It's the 2006 one. It should be on Xbox 360 or PS3. And, you put that in. Down. Okay, and then you put it in, and then you'll enjoy it. You'll like it.
And then I'm gonna come on the next episode, and I'm gonna have something all about the hype to vent about, huh? Yeah, I know how that works, but that's cool. Hey, I'm all about it though. I'll do it. It's something. It's a hole in the backlog. I gotta fill it in.
Okay. We're going to take a small break, and when we return, we'll come back into the next topic. So, stay tuned. Hi there, guys. Welcome back. And now we're going into True Story. This is where we like to talk about any video game stories that we have. Super excited, memorable moments, man. True story.
I guess the guest always starts. I've known, right?
Yeah, man. That's the new rule.
That's the rule. So this isn't. I'm familiar with the podcast, bro. I like your true stories. I'm gonna go take my true story a little bit farther back. Going back to, you mentioned 2006, but I'm gonna go back to about 2004-ish, 2005. So I've always been a gamer. Growing up, like since the 80s, like I played video games and, got the NES, Atari, all that kind of stuff. But the thing for me is, and I've always been kind of a nerd, but the problem for me is also, I'm also 6'2" and an athlete. And so that didn't really match up very well, so I had my nerd friends and my jock friends. And so you kind of had to like dumb down your jockness with your nerd friends because the jocks would like beat them up and like, oh, I'm not one of them. And then your jock friends are like, I don't hang out with those things. We don't build computers in our basement on the weekends. I did that. So I was always torn, and we can talk about the state of the world today, about the racial divide and all this stuff like that. But for me, I literally have a racial divide as I'm multiracial. I'm half black and half white. So growing up, that's confusing as all hell. Like my mom, I was very well educated, and I don't quote talk black. So I was too white for the black kids, and obviously dark and too dark for the white kids. So yeah, so I had no clue what I was, and I was like 7 years old. Like, Mom, what the hell am I? She's like, you're just you. And so that was confusing growing up. And so I've always had this weird, kind of split on everything I've done. And so that kind of persisted all the way through college. And being a college football player in a big school, there's guys who played video games, got PSP, everyone played, Call of Duty or whatever. But, I was a big time gamer. I played all Final Fantasies and everything. I was just like a dorky ass gamer. And so I was playing Age of Empires professionally at the time and competitively and on a really good clan. And so we were, I played at San Diego State, and we were playing University of Wyoming up in Wyoming. And if y'all, just a random fact, it's the highest elevation college football stadium in all of the United States. It's 2,500 feet. Wow. You get off the plane there and you can barely breathe. It is hard to play there, man, especially coming from San Diego. Whew. But anyway, so we're in warm-up. This is my sophomore year, I believe. I think I'm 20 years old. And the reason I'm telling this story is because this is the moment where I was always pretty confident, but this is the moment where it just set me on a path where, I am who I am, and this is what I am, and I am, and this is before gaming became like more mainstream. This is 2004-ish, like this is, gaming was still around, but gamers were still weird. They weren't in pop culture. This is 11, 12, 13 years ago, and so I get off the plane and we're doing everything and we're in warm-ups, right? And like most teams heckle you, like the fans as the crowds are coming in, especially during warm-ups, you're close to their sideline, you see the fans that are right behind you and they're like, oh, you suck, Johnson or Edwards, you look like a punk, blah, 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 they're screaming at you. So you laugh and you get to ignore it. Well, there's these people, a bunch of dudes who are like, Edwards is screaming. And like, I was like, oh, whatever, just the guy, typical hecklers fans, and I like it, and I just ignore it. So we're doing our linebacker warm-ups, our fit drills and all this stuff. And they keep going like, Edwards! I'm like, what the hell? And then so they were being distracting, and my teammates and my coaches were annoying. They're like, dude, you got a little fan club here, huh? Edwards! And so we're on the sideline. So then we go down to the end zone, and the way the Wyoming Stadium is like on the back of the end zone, the fans can walk like on the ground field level. Yeah. And so we go to the end zone to do our final team warm up, and I'm in the back of the end zone, and I hear Edwards are right behind us again. And then everyone's looking around, and then they go, meat bed! And that was a meat bed, so you guys don't know. I've had it for 20 years. It still is. That's my screen name. And so the second I was like, what the? So these dudes yelled meat bed, my screen name. So then obviously when that happens, I turn around and I was like, what? I look around, they're like, hey man, it's Thor and Eisenhart. And I was like, they were two of my clanmates from a game, and they saw my picture online on our clan forum, and they saw in the and they knew that I played football at San Diego, and they just saw in our clan forum, they saw my picture, and they figured out who I was, and they was like, oh, that's cool. So they were waving at me, and so I was like, holy crap, and I was like, oh shit, and then like everyone's like, wait, what? And like, yeah, we're your clan buddies in Age of Empires, and they were like my coach was like, oh, Teddy's a gamer, that's weird. They're all making fun of me hardcore, like I'm talking like dog, and my coaches were calling me a nerd and like just saying, oh, that's weird, you focus on football and not playing these dumb video games. It was bad. On the plane, so then I was like, whatever. And then on the plane back, so we're going home, and then there's about 5 or 6 guys who came. One guy, one of my teammates was like, hey man, you play a lot of games, and I was like, I like to get video games too. And they kind of really quiet. And then like 2 other guys came over and sat down next to me, like, hey man, what do you play? So I had about 6 or 7 guys came around me. They're like, yeah, okay. And then right then and there, I was like, I remember that moment. I go, F it, man. I am me. And I just sat there. I'm like, yeah, I play everything. I'm a gamer. I play everything. And I just kind of let it loose. And from that moment on, I became comfortable with who I was as a gamer. And from then on out, gaming has just been like, people are like, what do you do? I love video games, period. Like, I like them. They're fun. They make me happy. Like, as a kid, they were something that was something exciting for me. And to this day, they still are. So that's my true story. That's why I do what I do today. And that's why I'm here talking to y'all.
Damn. Okay. So we're gonna do that moment that defined us as a gamer and made us proud to be a gamer.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I want to hear yours, brother. Yeah, this is good.
This has to be like way back, maybe 2012. No, 2011. Mm-hmm. I had just got into Street Fighter 4, and I wanted to get into it competitively, and I asked my friend Mr. Kim, Wardrax, for those that don't know him. But I ended up asking him, like, I was with him, and then we met this guy who was in the Chicago fighting game community, and then he told us that there was like events here in Chicago. So what I did was I decided to take my butt out for the first time ever in existence to a fighting game event in Chicago, and I went to Ignite Network. And the first day I went there playing Street Fighter. I was playing Gouken, and at the time, that was like the dumbest character I could ever play. I won't describe, the character. If you want to look him up, you can look him up. I was playing Gouken, and when I got there, I asked like, "Hey, can I play?" And like one of the guys was like, "Yeah, sure." So I had been playing online, and I was like, okay. And usually against other people, I beat them easy, but against these guys, I got bodied. I got my ass kicked. No, it was really bad. Like, the first guy I played, he beat me 20 games to 0 and perfected me 8 times. And he actually got a double perfect one game. Yeah. It was bad. Then I played another person. At that time, he was playing Jury, and then he switched to Balrog. Then he switched to some random character. Like, he literally went to random. And it was just like having a blast on that. Then I played another guy who was playing El Fuerte. You might know him as like, well, you may not know. But anyways, he was playing El Fuerte at the time for Street Fighter 4. And he bodied me 20 times. Then I played this one guy, played Ryu. And he bodied me 30 times in a row. For that whole entire night, I paid $10 and taking the CTA to this
lose
place.
70 matches in a row.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they just looked at me and laughed. And I literally sat there and I was like, I can't believe I got my ass kicked. Thought I was good. Thought I was the best, man. And I guess I thought in the time I wasn't really a gamer. Because at the time I always thought I was. Mm-hmm. But I was, I've never really shared it or I'd never said anything. So what I did was I came back the next week and got my ass kicked again. And I came back the next week, got my ass kicked again, and I came back the next week. So after 2 months, getting my ass kicked, finally someone decided to ask my name. And I literally said Afusa. And it's like, why are you here? And I'm like, I'm here because I want to get good at this game. And the guy, I remember I told the guy that, and he was like, you know, I feel like he said like, you know what, I feel like you're a real gamer because most gamers quit and go do something else. So he's like, this is the true definition of a gamer. You keep coming back paying over $10 to get your ass kicked in a game that you truly suck at. And ever since that day, like ever since he told me, you must be a true gamer, because that is like beyond some hardcore shit. To spend money to go to a place to get your ass kicked. Like that's the old school definition of like going to an arcade, paying to get your ass kicked in an arcade, having other people tell you that you suck. And you keep coming back and they never ask your name until eventually they're just like, you know what? You clearly must be a true gamer. Like you must be an old
You're basically like Rudy.
Yeah.
You know?
I really was. So I remember that movie too. I was, fucking Notre Dame and shit. But yeah. So that was my true definition of like, that was my day when I was like, I officially can call myself a gamer. Because
that's a babe.
Apparently
I dig that story a lot, man. That's awesome. That's good. That's perseverance. That's like, hey, I dig it. I always like stories like that. I support it. Dang.
That's when
it's dedication, man.
Yeah.
It's good. I like that. Hey, I have no qualms. You're a gamer in my book, bruh.
I didn't know. I always thought I was a gamer, but that's apparently what I was the true definition of a gamer.
Right. Man.
Wow. True story.
There you go. That's a true story. If y'all don't think that's true, dang, real talk.
Damn. I know I've talked about it before, but yeah, I really spent. I think I spent before I actually started winning. I think I spent over $100.
Oh yeah. But you know, was it worth it?
Oh, it was.
Would you pay $100 to get that life experience and that validation and that that camaraderie and everything? Hell yeah, that's a no brainer.
I would, but it was also that fact of like I didn't think I could make that type of commitment before, and that was really surprising. That's why I'm just upset that Street Fighter V is so horrible, because it was a game that motivated me to
Do you like the fighting in it though? The actual fighting, besides the game itself, do you like the actual matches and the fighting? I heard that's what I hear and that's what I see more. Like the fighting itself, the game mechanics are good. It's just everything else around it sucks.
No, in Street Fighter V, the game mechanics are horrible. You only have like maybe there's only 6 characters you can really play, like on a
that's
serious
what I hear too,
level.
That's one of the problems is as well. Like there's too many of the same. There's only 6 good characters, and there's a really big tiered system. Like it's like blatant.
Yeah, and like the way the game is set up as well is like offense is king, and defense is like, what are you doing? Why are you defending? You should be attacking. And I'm more of a defensive.
That's player. Almost like Mortal Kombat. Yeah, Mortal Kombat's all about attack, juggle.
So that's why I'm playing Injustice too, because there's at least a defensive option. But yeah, that's my true story. And
I like it. That's a good true story, man.
Thank you. All right, folks. Well, as you know, it's that time of the show where we have to say goodbye, because we're wrapping it up. But before we say goodbye, you already know what time it is. And once again, Lord Brioche, you're still not here. So it's time for selfless plugins. Go.
Yeah. So quickly, I guess I won't go too long because I've been talking a lot today. I appreciate you.
You're supposed to talk, Ted. Like that's the whole thing.
Honestly, just so y'all know, this man who's talking, who does the show every couple of weeks, is awesome. Met him a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now. E3, great dude. I'm happy to know him, and thank you for having me on. I guess I gotta say that. That's my selfless promotion. Is first of all, just tell you thank you, brother. And hopefully, I'm gonna get him, and we're gonna be doing a lot more together because I enjoy talking to him and everything. So what I'm doing now, Alien Genome. You can find us on YouTube. We're also aliengenome.com. The website will be up very, very soon, but right now the website takes you to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and check it out. I'd really love if you guys just kind of look at, they're all long form videos, like hour playthroughs, but they're a lot of educational components. You'll learn something, you'll have fun, we goof around, we do a lot of fun series, like we do our new upcoming series is called Red Dead Redemption, where we're playing through Red Dead. That's going to be cool coming out. We do a cool series called Co-op Fun Time, where we play all the best co-op games of all time, couch co-op. So we just go through all the best co-op games of all time and just play through them. We just actually one coming up soon, just a little teaser, and maybe they may be 4 of them. They may be green, and they may have artist names, and it may be for the SNES. So I'll let you guys put that together.
Pokemon Go.
No, Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. Yeah, so there's that. And then, if you like it, we're on social media. Just go ahead and find us. And please get at me. Like, just tell me, talk to me. I like talking to people about games and stuff. So that's it, man.
Once again, folks, Chronicles of Gamers, type us in Google. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Acast, SoundCloud, iTunes, VidMe. I don't know, maybe, we're on Android. No, we're actually on Android, so it's like 8 things. We might be adding some
Stitcher,
up 9. One more will be everywhere. Of course, you could follow us on Facebook, The Chronicles of Gamers, Twitter, COG Podcast. You can follow me, Efocutioner. Man,
I'm at Tedwards44 on everything, Instagram, Twitter, if you want that. Tedwards44, football number. Go figure.
So man, that's pretty much it. Of course, if you love the episode, if you want to let me know how I've been doing, which you guys mostly have, and you guys have been giving me some notes. I have been, here are my notes now, just in case if I get anything wrong, and I have been correcting myself more. So thank you for that. But of course, you can message me at the Chronicles of Gamers podcast at gmail.com, or for those that don't want to type the super long email, which I've been told recently, you can just message me on the Facebook page, which you've been doing. So either or I'm sorry that I chose such a long name, but I'll try to think of something shorter. All right, sheesh. But you can message me on Facebook like y'all usually do anyways. But I'm not mad at that. That's okay. But anyways, though, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out of here. So, of course, stay lit.